Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to the Everyday Investor, the hottest real estate investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. We've got a great show lined up today. Today we're going to learn how to make money investing in mortgages. And I'm very excited because my guest co-host today is the money girl herself, mortgage specialist extraordinaire, Carmen Campagnaro is on the show, as well as we have 3 different savvy female investors. Of course, all female investors are savvy as opposed to the men, but looking forward to learning how they're making money, returns of 10, 12, 15, 20%, investing in mortgages passively. You don't want to go anywhere. This show will be right back. Let's get going. All right, welcome to the Everyday Investor. As I said earlier, we're going to learn how to make money investing in mortgages very passively. And I'm very excited because my guest co-host today is Carmen Campagnaro. I get flustered every time I get to mention your name, give you a hug, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you, Carmen, for coming on the show. And I'm very excited because you've brought some people here who are having much success investing in mortgages. And you know, I think that's fantastic. You know, there's something to be said. The last week's show, we were talking about investing in student rentals and some really great returns, lots of cash flow, all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, you know, with a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old and, you know, somebody's got to cut the lawn and do some weeding and all that kind of stuff, it's a lot of work.
It is.
And so what I love about mortgage investing in mortgages, is simply write a check. Obviously, we got to make sure that who we're lending our money to is key, you know, everything's prudent, and we've done all our, you know, dot our I's, cross our T's, all that kind of stuff. But then it's just passive, you know, cash flow coming in every single month. I can choose a 1-year term, a 6-month, 2-year, 3-year, all that kind of good stuff. So you're still having fun. You've been, as young as you look, you've been doing this for, I don't know, I think 3 decades now. You've been in this world, is that right?
Well, I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years, but I've been investing in real estate for maybe a little bit longer.
A little bit longer. Yes. And I love the story, and please share it with me again, because I always, you know, get excited when I hear it. When you were just 18, 19 years old, talk about what happened there, how you, I think you only mid $100,000.
Yeah, that was really good. I bought my first property when I was 18.
18.
Yes, and I actually inherited some money.
Okay.
It wasn't a large amount of money, and instead of spending it on
what a normal 18-year-old would.
Yeah.
What Rav would spend it on.
Yeah, I actually took the money and I bought a house. And I rented it out for a while, then I moved into the house, and then I sold it. And it was just incredible because that was probably 86, 87, 88.
Yes.
And just before
the crash, yeah.
I sold it and I made like $160,000 on that house.
160?
160.
Why did I think 100?
Probably because I split it with my father.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
My dad qualified for the mortgage.
Your dad qualified for the mortgage.
But yeah, so that's how it worked. So 160, I made the 100. My dad made the 60 because he qualified for the mortgage. It was my investment.
Wow.
And then I moved on and I bought another property, and that's how it all began.
So you took 100, you gave your dad. So you're a tough negotiator.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So that's how you got kind of into the world of that, and then you started getting. So what was the impetus 20 years ago getting into mortgages?
Well, I was an entrepreneur from the start. I started off owning a video business, and then I designed and manufactured children's wear. And then I went into, after that business, it wasn't working out so well, so much competition. And an associate I knew in the business said, Carmen, I think you'd do wonderful at this. Why don't you do it? So I took the summer off, went back to school, got my license, and then started literally out of my basement. And I'm talking my very modest home, my washer, dryer, my fold-out table with my fax machine. Yeah. That's going to date me for sure.
And as a single mom.
Yes.
As a single mom with 2 little mouths to feed.
It was very, you know, scary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm the one providing for my children. So it was very stressful. However, I started off just faxing people, and it's interesting how this happened. I put an ad in a local newspaper, and a fellow responded to my ad, and he had the most horrible mortgage to get, right? It was in Hamilton on the really bad side of the city, and it had a restaurant, which everyone knows if you're in the business, it's a tough nut to do. Yep. And I was like a dog with a bone. I had to get it done, and I got it done. I got it approved. I think like a Mennonite credit union or something. It was like, you know,
you got him the money.
I got him the money.
Which you always do.
And ironically, he was a speaker for an investment training company, and he put my name on the overhead projector.
Wow.
And from that day on, and it's interesting, it was a real estate related type thing.
Yeah.
And the calls were coming in, and I loved servicing that because my passion was in real estate as well.
Yeah.
And that's how it began. It just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew.
Well, listen, you know, as we both attest to, God's in control. You work hard, and you know, I think that's great. That
and you never know what leads to anything. So treat everybody equal.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, you get
absolutely.
a really crummy deal or a little situation that you think it's not worth the time.
Yeah.
Invest that time because
with integrity.
With integrity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I look forward to meeting the women that you brought on the show.
Yes.
We're going to talk to them here in just a second. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back on, and we'll learn how they're making money investing in mortgages.
I thought it would be good for people to see firsthand.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just someone telling them. It's a real scenario.
Absolutely. We're just everyday people, and some are doing extraordinary things, such as yourself and the women that you've brought on the show here.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
All right. Well, thanks for watching The Everyday Investor. You don't want to go anywhere. Get out your paper, your pen, your calculator, all that kind of stuff. We're going to learn how we can make money passively, doing nothing, writing a check, investing in mortgages. Thanks for watching, everyone. Whenever you're considering to invest in real estate, always ask the 4 questions to start. Number 1, what's the return on my investment? Number 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? Number 3, what is the minimum cash amount needed? And number 4, what is the risk in the worst case scenario? Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We're talking to my good friend, Carmen Campagnaro. She's guest co-hosting with me, and we're going to learn how we can make money investing in mortgages. I'm grateful to have Theresa on the show here with us today. Theresa, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
No, it's absolutely our pleasure. So you are making money investing in mortgages.
Correct.
Correct? And so how long have you been doing it? Why do you do it? You know, as opposed to other things such as, you know, putting all your money just in RSPs or mutual funds or something like that?
I've been with Carmen investing this way for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Prior to that, my husband and I owned a 13-unit apartment building for 12 years, which we ran and managed ourselves.
Wow.
And we came to a point where I did not want to do that anymore. And this opportunity with Carmen is very nice, and when she talks to you, welcome you and explains everything. So we felt very comfortable investing with her. As a matter of fact, we have 10 different investments.
In the mortgage world?
In the mortgage world with her.
So you had a 13-unit apartment building.
Correct.
That you were managing for over a decade.
Correct.
I don't care what anybody says. You know, they say, oh, it's passive, the cash flow. It's not passive, as I'm sure you will attest to. There's a lot of work there and a lot of stress, I imagine, at times, right?
It is.
And
yeah.
I haven't known you for that long. We just kind of talked a little bit here. You seem very astute and very savvy, but at the same time, stress still creeps in when we have to manage tenants, when we have vacancy, when we have to do all these kinds of things. So did you sell it? You sold that?
We sold it, yes.
You sold that, you took the capital, and now you're diversifying it in different mortgage products.
Correct.
Okay, very good. So let's take a look at of one of the products here. So what did we invest in now? Carmen, you've always taught me there's you know, many different mortgage vehicles, but the two that you really enjoy is investing in a private mortgage with an individual, and then investing in a syndicate mortgage where a group of people they lend their money to, let's say, a developer or anybody for that matter.
Yeah, syndicated mortgage could be to an individual as well. It's
Yeah.
just meaning that there's multiple parties in
That mortgage.
that mortgage.
Yeah.
So we have projects like project lending where they're more development and construction based, and then we also have the individual mortgages, which may be an existing building or a single party looking for a mortgage that might be a larger amount that one person couldn't just fill alone.
Okay.
So that's when we put together. So we've been doing syndicated mortgages. That's what they call them in the industry for 15 years.
Okay.
Easy.
And so, and what I enjoy about investing in mortgages is, I took some of my mom's money, invested it. I mean, I think it's great. We have some capital. Let's get a return on that without having to do any work, no stress, all that kind of stuff. There's different timelines, Carmen. So we can do a 6 month, a year, 2 years, 4 years. Theresa, on this particular one that we're going to look at right now, how many did you say you had?
We have 10 different ones.
10 different projects.
Yes.
So you're gonna talk about one right now.
I'm going to talk about one
Okay,
today.
so how long is this one?
This is for 3 years.
3-year project, okay. And so is this to one individual person? Is it a syndicate? Is it to a developer?
It's a syndicate, and it's a development that it's going to be right close to Lake Huron.
Okay.
The area is called Blue Point.
Blue Point.
And we invested $50,000
$50,000.
in this one.
So you and a group of people
Yes.
lent some money to a
Correct.
developer, and he's building a project, and it's called Blue Point.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
correct.
Yeah, it's like on Lake Huron.
Yeah.
And it's a 126 unit build, and it's a South Coast kind of feel. So all the houses in that development are going to be baby blue,
right.
mint green, lemon yellow, and it's
Nice.
a very vacation kind of feel area.
Beautiful,
It's going to be
beautiful.
wonderful.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Theresa, your investment amount was $50K.
$50,000.
$50,000. And this is a 3-year, you said?
Correct.
3-year project. And so there's usually, and this is where I need help, and I need you to teach me a little bit, there's usually a monthly component to this, although I know some people get paid every 6 months, every year, sometimes at the very end. So in this particular case, what is the rate of return that you're getting, Theresa, and how is it being paid?
Well, we're getting 8% interest, which is paid monthly,
8% interest. So this is a 8%
plus,
paid monthly
yes,
for 8% paid monthly per year. I mean,
Correct.
well, just ongoing.
ongoing.
For the term, yes.
It's for the
the
term.
term.
That's what we use. That's the name.
For
the
the
term.
term.
So you are getting. Can I break this down? Is this right? So you're making $4,000
per year.
paid monthly for 3 years. You're going to get this
Correct.
for 3 years, paid monthly for 3 years. So that will equal a total of $12,000, right?
Correct.
12,000 total. And then you were about to say something else. So was there lender fee or what else did you?
Plus an 8% lender's fee, which will be paid at the end of the term, and that
8% total
per year.
for
Per year.
per year.
Correct.
So 8, 8, and 8. So you're going to make another 24%? No. You're going to make another $12,000 rather. So this is
Correct.
paid monthly. Then
Correct.
you're going to make another $12K
Correct.
at the end.
Correct.
All right. So you are getting $4K paid monthly for 3
years.
So that $4K, basically you're getting about
33 per month.
Okay, 300.
33.
Okay, so that's what you're
Correct.
getting paid.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, per monthly, 333.
33.
Okay.
Correct.
So that's not bad because you have 10 of them. You have 10 different projects.
Well,
that-
her,
That's
yeah,
right.
You
her,
know,
her investments are different amounts and amongst
Different amount.
spread
yeah,
out.
not all of them
So-
are $50,000.
Correct.
So
Yes.
you're getting paid 12K total, 4K a year, $333 per month, and then at the very end of the project, you're going to make another 12K. What
As a
what
lender bonus.
As a lender bonus.
That's correct.
And this is the developers paying that at the very end of this.
And it is not contingent. This is written into the contract, so these are fixed returns. So the interest that you're getting paid monthly is fixed, and also the bonus at the end.
So what you're saying is
a
that
fee.
if they don't make this much, if they don't make the profits that they thought, this is still a fixed in a contract.
Yep, and they get paid in first priority. So that's
Okay.
the investors are first.
So basically,
We're doing a total
$24,000 total.
at the end of the 3 years. That's
Yes.
right.
So whenever we're trying to figure out our ROI, we take our profit, right? We take our profit, and then we want to divide that by
50.
by what we're in, and so that looks like that's a 48% return, but we just have some fun with the big calculator here. So we take $24,000 for those of us that are at home, because that's what Theresa's making. She's making 12 paid monthly for 3 years, which works out to $333 a month. Then she gets another 12 at the very end, $24,000. You divide that by what we're in for, $50,000, and that will spit out a return of 48% over the
3 years.
3 years, which breaks down to what, 16%?
Yes.
Per year.
16% per year.
Correct.
Doing nothing.
No, yeah, it's
16%.
Just passive. Right?
Passively, yes. And so you are, again, in 10 different projects.
Yes.
You feel great about it. And some of these are they all syndicates? Some are private, some are?
I think only 1 or 2 we have private, but
Okay.
the rest are all syndicate. Yes.
Okay. So Carmen, what's the process here? You have different projects that come up. Teresa's a client, a friend, and she looks at this. We do our due diligence. I know one time we had a lawyer on the show as well.
Yes.
What kind of things that when somebody's watching the show and they're just examining syndicate mortgages in general,
Right.
what are some things that we should be looking out for?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it is the amount of due diligence and that is prepared and provided to the investors. What we do is we have a very senior team of analysts that go through the construction and development, and we prepare something called a mortgage investment offering, and it's quite a substantial document, and it accompanies all the reports, environmental, appraisals. So we actually have full AACI appraisal reports to value the property the way it is, when it's completed.
Because Theresa wants to know, what is the land worth?
Yes.
How much debt are we putting on it? She wants to know all those
Who
things.
are the people behind
Who
the
are
project?
the people who want it? Who's the developer? All that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
In the very same way, if Theresa were to lend Rav $50,000, there's got to be something to secure, your investment on. So you'd be able to look at my property if there's any equity in it, or let's say I need the money for a business that I want to open, but I don't want to, refinance my own home because I have a great interest rate. I mean, there's many reasons, and that's for another show, Carmen, that we've done before.
Yeah.
There's many reasons why somebody would gladly pay 12%. 24% to be able to borrow money.
And we try to negotiate the best deal possible, and the interest rate isn't really indicative of any increased risk in a project that we do, because anything that we bring to the table, we want to make sure everybody's safe. It doesn't matter what it is. And so it depends on how much, we would say, juice there is in the project that we could actually pay our investors. So, our objective is to make sure that they're getting great returns.
Yeah.
And it's appealing to everybody, and then we can raise the capital that way.
That's great.
And that's our first priority.
Okay, great.
So that's how that one.
So
worked
who's the boss? You or the husband?
Both together.
Both together. Good answer. Great answer.
Yes, that was
and
good.
So he's, he's in the studio right now, but he's, that's why you said that, I think. But he's on board as well. I mean, that's very important, right, for husband and wife to kind of do these things together.
I can tell you one thing.
Yeah.
He knows his numbers.
Yes.
So he looks at this and he can
Analyzes.
figure it out himself. So,
Okay.
but together we work as a team.
Yes. Well,
Right.
listen.
Yeah,
Right, Carmen?
you do. You guys are great together.
Teresa, it's wonderful to have you on the show. Very excited for you, and
Thank you.
congratulations on and let me know. Keep in touch and let me know what you're doing in the future.
I will.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
being on the
very
show.
much.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
No. Stay for a sec. Yeah. They got to see your pretty face as I close here on the show.
Sorry.
Teresa's trying to get away, but she will in just a second. We'll bring on our next guest, and she'll show us how she's also making the same kinds of returns investing in mortgages. The Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Did you know that the returns expected on a mortgage investment is typically between 10% and 14% annually, and a non-accredited friendly investment? Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We're talking about how to make money investing in mortgages. My guest co-host, Carmen Campagnaro, is with me. We just talked to Theresa. We learned how she's making money investing in mortgages. And now we're talking to Susan. Susan is making 13%. Annualized, 13%, money going into her bank account every single month, investing in mortgages. Susan, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
I'm excited.
It's wonderful having it, and I love your story. You know, a little similar to mine. I couldn't bear to see my mom not making, you know, she worked so hard, you know, raised by a single mom, and, you know, for her retirement, you know, just, you know, we live in a great country. I'm happy to be in Canada. I really am. But there's other things other than just RSPs and so on and so forth that we can do to make money in. And so it's the same thing with you. I invested my mom's money into private mortgages.
Right.
And so tell me the story about your father and what you're doing.
Yeah, so my dad unfortunately got sick, and he had to go into a nursing home, and that's hard for anyone to deal with. We love our family, and we want them to have the best care possible, and unfortunately hiring someone with 24-hour care was beyond what we could afford.
Yep.
So he is in a nursing home, and I took some of his savings. I took $160,000 and I invested it into a private mortgage.
Okay.
And between that and a little bit of the pension money that he has, it covers all of his nursing costs, including, you know, his, you know,
spending
chocolate
money,
bars and his haircuts and whatever else that he needs. And that's really important to our family because my dad worked very, very hard all of his life, not making very much money. You know, he was in the manufacturing business. He made socks. So he, you know, he was never a rich guy, but he worked really hard at saving that money. So for him, it's really important that just because he's in care, he doesn't want to see all that savings dwindle down and gone. He wants to leave money to his grandchildren.
And, you know, $160,000, if we're making 3-4%, is not a lot of money.
Exactly.
But if we can make 12, 13, 14%, which you're able to do, and we're going to learn how, then that's significant, you know? And, well, listen, I commend you.
It's life-changing, really, for us.
Yeah. For sure, you're a wonderful daughter. So I think that's fantastic. So this particular mortgage, Carmen, we call this a private mortgage or an individual as opposed to a group.
That's right.
So Susan, you've lent this money to an individual.
That's right.
And what was the process there? Like you don't just give your money to anybody. So what was the process? What did you want to know? What did you check out? Carmen, why did this person need the money? Yeah.
So Carmen puts up some emails with different deals that are possible. This was a deal, a husband and a wife who live in Oakville and own their house free and clear, except they have a $600,000 collateral charge on it. And they needed some money to...
it's a line of credit, actually, that they had available as a first.
Right. And so they wanted some money to renovate the bathrooms and redo the house so that they could flip it.
Yeah.
And so that's the deal that I invested in. And when you do that, you get their credit history, you get a per-view report, you get the sales stats around the area.
So obviously the house, so they have a $600,000 credit line that's already been used on their property. So obviously the property's not worth $600,000.
It's worth about $1.2 million.
Okay, so there's an appraisal to show you that this property is worth $1.2 million. So basically, you know, 50% of the equity, you know, is there.
Right.
But again, Carmen, there's a lot of people that would gladly borrow the money and pay a higher rate than disturb their existing mortgage. Was that the case?
Well, yeah, and in some cases like this, if they break, now I'm not sure if it was a fixed mortgage or if it was a line of credit, but in most cases when people do this, they don't want to break the mortgage because there's a huge penalty.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe the bank won't lend them that money for that purpose. So getting a private mortgage like this is really convenient for the borrower, and they don't mind paying this kind of money because then they can turn around, as we discussed many times before, and make that big lift on a flip.
Yeah.
And I use it all the time, like I mentioned as well.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense because it's quick. You don't have to, you know, wait 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to get an approval.
Yeah.
It can happen within 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're so the total payout on this deal. What's the total payout?
Yeah, and I just wanted to say too, I don't pay for the legal fees, so all of that is taken care of.
He takes care of the person that's borrowing the money.
Right.
So the total payout on this is what? $35,000, $40,000?
$41,600.
$41,000. So Carmen, for somebody to borrow $160,000 and over 2 years pay back the $160 plus $40, well, that's peanuts. If he's going to make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 flipping a house in Oakville.
Exactly.
And so that's what you're saying. People are watching the show and they're like, well, why would somebody do that? Well, this is what most quote-unquote flippers, renovators, this is what they do because they don't have to deal with the headaches
and the red tape with the banks.
With the banks, you know. And again, we're grateful for the banks. That we live in a great country, but for an investor, you know, if I want to borrow money, I would want to borrow it from Susan, and she doesn't mind because I'm going to pay her. She's checked out my criteria. She checked out, you know, where I live, how much equity is in my house, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, okay. For the most part, that's the type of, if we do individual mortgages, that's the type of thing we get.
Yeah.
It's more investor based. Like we're not really dealing with too much we don't see too much of a challenge situation, right?
Yeah.
Whereas there's really distressed situations.
Yeah, it's not a charity. We're not saying, okay, we feel
No.
sorry for you, so we'll help you. It's a win-win.
Right.
This couple in Oakville is
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah.
Susan is winning, and I mean
Susan's dad's
the
winning.
gratification of being
Yeah.
able to help our parents,
Yeah.
who we need to always honor and respect and love and take care of. So
Exactly.
no, I commend you for that. So let's take a look at this this particular deal. So you already told me that we're lending this money to Joe and Jill in Oakville, and they have some. I guess it should be Jack and Jill, right?
Yes, I was just thinking that.
And the reason why you're lending it is because in their principal residence there's about 50% equity. So you're not worried because we're putting a lien. Is that what we call it, Carmen?
Well, it's a charge.
A charge on that property that if something were to happen, there's $500,000-$600,000 there that we can go after. Right. So there's 50% equity in that property, and the reason why Joe and Jill are not touching this is because it might be, to break the mortgage or for whatever reasons. They just love their interest rate. There's many reasons why somebody doesn't want to, and they'd gladly pay you, the interest. So you.
Now, sorry, did you get security on another piece of real estate as well, or was it just this property?
Just this one.
Okay.
Just this
all right.
property. Well, that's a lot. If the
Yes, it is, but sometimes we also get security on other real estate people own.
Yeah.
It gives even further security, but yeah, the loan to value here is incredible.
Yeah, because it was worth 1.2 mil, and there was about 600,000, let's say equity in there, which brings us to that 50%. Okay, so you lent these guys after you saw this. I would too. You lent them $160,000.
Yes.
And the term
2 years.
That was the investment, and the term is a 2-year term. And what was the interest rate?
The interest rate averages out over 2 years to be 13%. The first year it's 12%, and the second year was 14%.
Okay, so the first year is 12%
Right.
for the first year. So break that down for me. What's 12% of 160?
It's $1,600 a month.
$1,600 a month. This is what you're getting. And what is that for the year? Do you know?
I think I do know. It's $19,200.
Or $19,200 total.
Right.
Right?
That's interest only, so that doesn't include any principal. It's
Yeah,
simply
this will all come back at the very end.
Yeah.
This is what your father is receiving, $1,600 a month.
Right.
And to live, in a great facility,
Right.
we're looking at about $2,200, $2,300,
Exactly.
$2,400 just to get started.
Exactly.
So this plus his CPP or OAS or disability, that will bring that up.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Yeah, even Steven.
Yeah. As opposed to taking this $160,000 and squandering it
And just watching it go down, like you
That's
said,
right.
by $1,600, $2,000 a month. Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. So this is in the first year.
Right.
And then in the second year,
It's
I
the
would
same, but I have a 2year bonus.
She has a lender bonus.
2% lender bonus.
Okay, and that's paid at the very end.
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually going to happen again, right? So this whole thing happens all over again, and then when we're all done, we get 2% on the 160.
Right.
Right, which is what,
$3,200.
$3,200 more. So we're going to get another $3,200 more. So overall, we're getting $19,200 per year. So let me see if I'm doing this right. So $19,200 per year. So we got to times that by 2 years. Correct?
Yeah.
We're going to times that by 2 years, $38,400.
Yep.
And then, because this is the second year, same thing as the first. And then at the very end, we get a 2% bonus, lender fee, whatever we call that,
Yes.
of $3,200.
Right.
So we're going to add $3,200. So altogether, I have $41,600.
Me too. That's a good thing.
Okay, you do as well. Okay. So altogether, you're making $41,600. We want to divide that by what we're in for. So we take our calculator, $41,600. We divide that by the $160,000, and that equals 26%. This is an ROI of 26%, but it's 2 years.
Right.
So therefore, it is 13% per year.
I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm pretty inspired by that.
I don't have to deal with sewer backups at a house that I've rented, or roof leaking, or...
So Carmen, is this everyday stuff? People are making 10, 11, 12, 13, 14%. In syndicate mortgages, but even in individual mortgages, because everybody has a story. Everybody, and I don't mean Susan and her father, I'm saying Rav, the investor. I have a story and I need access to money. I need to be able to close quickly. I need leverage if I'm going into a bid with somebody else, you know. There's many reasons.
Private money is a great tool if you're borrowing to negotiate on deals. So it's like almost...
Well, I know you do it all the time.
Right?
You pay you know, forgive me if I say this, you pay a lot of money in interest because you make a lot more money on the project that you're trying to get involved in, or the property that you're trying to buy.
Yeah, in most cases you can't secure that with a bank, with, you know, certain deals that need to close really quickly, or you know, maybe they're vacant properties that need to be renovated and things like that. You cannot get that with the bank, right? It's very difficult. So securing private money and being able to close in 1 to 2 weeks on a deal, that gives you all the buying power in the world. You could go out there and put an offer on something, and with conviction, you know you're going to be able to get it, as long as you or the person that's borrowing understands the real estate. I don't recommend anyone just going in cash and saying, hey, Carmen, can you give me the money now? No, call us first, tell us the scenario, then we can tell you what we're going to be able to get you, and then we can guide you in the direction from
and Susan doesn't necessarily, because she doesn't want to, she doesn't meet Joe and Jill. She doesn't go over to their house for dinner and, hey, we're friends now. I mean, this is separate, and ProFunds is the one that's going to kind of mediate, or really on behalf of, you know, on Susan in this case, be able to do this deal. So it's really
That's why this relationship is so important, because I really trust Carmen. I can sit down with her, she'll tell me the good and the bad and the ugly. And there's never been any bad and ugly. It's only ever been good, and we have a really good relationship. You know, so I feel really comfortable. I understand exactly what I'm getting into, and you know, I don't get that in other places.
So my question is you know, Dad's going to be there long term. But this is a 2-year term.
Right.
So then what's next, Carmen? And there's always opportunities to lend money?
Carmen. It keeps rolling. Yeah, she calls.
Sign me up again.
Yeah,
there's always opportunities to lend money.
She has another investment out there too, and we just discussed it, and it's coming, it's maturing, or actually being paid out imminently. So we're talking about getting that one moving, right, as soon as it's paid out. So we have these relationships. So we have a team of people. It's not just me.
Right.
So there's a team of people in the office that facilitate these types of things.
There's always people that need money to borrow, and they're good people with integrity that just have different things that they're doing.
Yeah, we're very particular about what we put out there, so we may not have right away the deal that you want. I'd rather be patient and say, okay, wait for the good one to come. It's coming, right? Just hang on, and we'll make sure we're placing you into something more secure.
Wonderful.
And even that she says that makes me feel so much more comfortable.
Wonderful.
Right?
Listen, I am getting a little emotional thinking about the fact that you're no, but it's a wonderful you know,
it really,
you're doing this for your dad. Congratulations.
Really. Thank you so much.
And,
thanks for having me.
Please keep in touch. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Listen, it's phenomenal investing in real estate. We can do some great things, helping out family. You know, it's just not always about the money. It never really should be about the money. There's many things that we can do investing so that we can live life to the full. We're not done yet. Rosanna's coming on the show. Don't go anywhere. The Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Did you know that mortgage investments are actually secured on the real estate through a lawyer as a tangible asset? Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to the Everyday Investor. We've had a phenomenal show thus far. If you've missed any of it, go to rogerstv.com. Make sure you find the repeat. We're talking about how to make money investing in mortgages. We talked to Theresa, we talked to Susan, and now we are going to talk to Rose. She is making some great money, writing a check to an individual who's paying her back that money back plus interest. It's great to have you on the show, Rose.
Hi, Raj. How are you?
Yeah, it's doing well. And so this shows, this deal is actually exited. You're showing me a past deal that just recently exited?
Yes.
Okay.
actually just a couple days ago.
Just a couple days ago,
like
so
Monday.
That's good. And it was a 1-year deal. So tell me about, because I know you invest in different things. We're neighbors.
Yes.
You live in the promised land of Brampton, Ontario.
Absolutely.
I moved there because I felt like there wasn't enough Indians. So I actually moved to Brampton as well. It's wonderful.
Contribute to that.
But yeah, I needed to contribute.
Yes.
No, it's we've known each other for some time. You know, not just mortgages you invest in, but tell us about why you love investing in mortgages.
This is by far the easiest. I don't have any rental properties. It's too much work. I'm very busy. Work full-time caregiver with my parents, living with me, kids going to university, and I'm just happy to write a check and the money comes in and I don't have to worry. It's either deposited to my account, 12 post-dated checks. It's simple for me.
Simple.
Yes.
Isn't that the beauty of life?
Yes.
Right? Clarity, simplicity. You know, I just really think, I mean, when there's too much going on and yet we're making money, it's not worth it. I'd rather not make money and live a simple life. Imagine if we could find a way, Carmen, to live a simple life, of which I know you are the guru of. You know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Well, no, but
that's true.
you know, you don't
Okay.
work evenings, you don't work weekends, you shut it off. No one in the family is allowed to talk business. I think it's wonderful, right? And so if we can find a way to live a simple life but still make some passive income, well, then I think that's that's wonderful. So we talked to Theresa. It was great having her and you know, her husband kind of behind the scenes here, talking about how they're making money. Then Susan came on and she was talking about how she was, you know, helping her father out and investing his money for him in mortgages. This one's for who? This particular
this is
deal?
actually for my daughter.
For your daughter.
Yes, yes.
So how did that work? You put a little bit of money away, and this goes towards, you know, university, college, some books.
Well, we're kind of covering her books in university, but this is for her future, for hopefully one day down the road, buy a house or whatever she needs it for. My parents, when they moved in with me, they left the grandchildren a little sum of money each, and we asked them what they wanted to do. But we said, you can't spend it all, you can only use a bit if you want. They said, no, we want you to invest it.
Wow.
And we did.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been investing for them the last
your
couple
daughter's
years.
how old?
She is 20 now.
She's 20 years old
Yes,
now. And
yeah.
this was last year that you did this deal?
I started investing for her last year.
Yeah.
2
So
years
she was
ago
19,
almost.
yeah, 18, 19
Actually,
years old.
18, yes.
You know, you just don't find it, right? You don't find, it's hard to find financial education. And so to have parents that you've obviously, for them to make that decision, you've obviously taught them over the years the importance of being shrewd and wise with the
Yes.
money that God's blessed us with and being able to do, you know, good things with it. So I think that's fantastic. So this particular deal, it's a group investment. It's an individual investment. I think it's an individual.
Individual. It's a second mortgage.
It's a second mortgage.
And for just a small amount. Yeah.
So Carmen, explain what that means, a second mortgage.
So basically, it's if you have the real estate.
So let's say Rav.
Rav, you have your home.
I have my home,
This
yeah.
was an income property, so
Okay.
it's an income property, and you have a first mortgage.
Okay.
So it might be with a private person, or it might be with an institution. So
I have an investment. Rav Toor has an investment property.
Yes.
It's worth $400,000, and ABC Bank has a mortgage on there. There's a mortgage for
in first position.
in first position for about $200,000. So I have another $200,000 worth of equity. But again, for whatever reason, and there's many good reasons, and that's a whole different show. I want to borrow. In this case, Rose, you lent how much?
$28,500.
$28,500. So I want to borrow $28,500. So already ABC Bank, I owe them $200,000. And then I'm now going to owe Rose in second position $28,500. And then there's still lots of equity there. And so she feels comfortable lending me the money because she also puts a charge on this property.
Yeah, and that's all done through a law firm.
Okay.
So the process is, and we didn't really get into it with many of the others, but, and I'll make it really quick so we can go through this scenario, but we get all the due diligence that comes into the office. We basically decide if it's suited for our investors or not.
Yep.
Right? We critique the deal ourselves. We'll get the appraisals, the credit bureaus. We want to know the scenarios of what's happening with the deal, and then we present it to our investors, and then they ultimately make the decision if they like it. They can ask any question under the sun. Once you feel at peace, then we draft the legal paperwork, so that includes a mortgage commitment, financial services commission documents that we have to fill out, investor disclosure, so there's transparency on everything, and then it goes to the law firm. and then the law firm will do their searches to make sure that there aren't any issues with
that
title.
on my investment property,
Yeah.
that it's I own it.
You own it.
Yeah.
There's nothing funky happening there.
Yeah, I don't know other people, you know, the construction guy that came in and finished the basement.
Exactly. It doesn't have
I don't know, there's no liens on the
right.
property. Okay.
Anything like that. And then there's title insurance on top of that. So the borrower pays for all of this.
I do.
You do.
I pay for all of this.
Yes.
Even appraisals. I pay for everything.
Everything.
And she
Yes.
doesn't pay, and she
Anything.
lends the money and she receives the interest.
And the borrower will pay for us as well. So you have to pay me a fee.
Of course.
to
You
sort
set
of-
this up as
Yes.
well. And that's
Yes.
usually about what? A couple percent?
Yeah, it depends on the deal.
Yeah.
If it's an individual mortgage like this, it might be 2%. Now, this is a smaller mortgage, so I
So it might
think
be a
the
little bit
minimum
more.
is like $1,500 or something like
no,
that.
but of course.
You know, we don't go too crazy. We don't want to overcharge either, because then it puts the property at more risk if there's so much fees
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like that
yeah.
in the deal. But and then they close the deal. They register the actual mortgage and the person's name on title.
Yeah.
And the returns and the fees are all registered on title on the charge as well.
Okay.
And then the payments just come in.
So Rose, let's look at this. So this particular deal was a 1 year?
1 year.
You
Yep.
you lent Rav some money here, so Rav borrowed
28,500.
28,500. 28,500. I couldn't have just rounded it up to 30,000. I needed to borrow 28,000.
28,500.
$500. That's what I borrowed from you.
Yes.
And this was a 1 year term.
1 year.
1 year term there. And I was willing to pay because when you're in second place, Carmen, is usually, I mean, it's not more risk because there's a lot of equity still there,
Yeah.
but she's still in second place because
You are.
ABC Bank, you know, they're in first place, so you're in second place. So what was I willing to pay you to borrow that for 1 year?
This one was 15%.
15% total.
Total, yes.
Okay, so 15% for 1 year, which, you know, it's anywhere from, usually on average, it might be about 12, 13% kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
she.
Well, I would say typically for a second mortgage, it'd be 12,
Higher.
12 and 2, right? So 14%, 12% interest,
Yeah.
plus a 2% lender fee.
Lender fee.
Right.
So is this just 15% or was there a lender fee component?
Yeah, it was broken down. 8% was the interest and 7% was the lender fee.
Okay, so this
a lender fee.
is broken down by 8%
Interest,
is the interest, and that's paid how?
monthly.
Okay, interest paid monthly. And then what?
And this one was,
7%?
it was a 7% lender fee.
And that's paid right up front?
This one was interesting because it was paid up front off the initial investment amount.
Oh, I see.
So I was able to
So
deduct
instead of
it.
you, because how much is 7% of this?
It was 19,995, so 1,995.
$1,995, right?
Right.
That's 7% of this. That's
So
what you're saying?
yeah.
So instead of you giving me this, and then I turn around and give you this right back because I needed to give it to you up front, what you're saying is you gave me this minus this, but the interest rate still works as if you were giving this.
Right. So I only wrote a check for like 26,505.
26, because this minus the 7%, 1995 equals what?
26,505.
26,505. Okay, so this is interesting. Let me think about this for a second.
We're trying to
So
confuse
you,
matters here.
so you,
That's why I brought this one.
no, but this is good. So you lent me, Rav, for 1 year, $26,505, but I'm going to still pay you 8% on
the
this.
28.
Right.
Yes.
On this. So
So-
8% on that. So what's 8% on that?
$190 a month.
$190 a month. Okay, let me see this. So 190 times 12, 2280? Is that what it'd be? Does that sound
That
right?
sounds
Yep,
right.
yep.
Okay, so 2280 is what you made there. So 2280, right? Because you already got this back. So you made 2280
Plus
so
the 1995.
Plus the 1995. Because,
And then you divide it by the 26,505.
right. Because technically I did get that money back.
You did, yes.
Yes, so I have to add the two.
So when the mortgage was repaid,
Yeah.
she got her full 28.5 back.
She got the whole 25 back, but she made these two numbers. This was paid monthly.
That she
This
got
was
up
paid
front.
monthly, and this she got right up front.
And she only
But
really
therefore,
invested
she didn't really
26.
pay it up front. She only invested that much. So what I'm saying is,
I actually got more interest by taking the
yeah,
money
it works out
up front.
over 16%.
Yes.
So if you take these numbers, you divide it by what you're in for, that ROI equals over 16%.
Yeah,
Right?
which was
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We offer quite a few deals with the interest for the term of the mortgage up front. So maybe
I've done a few of these where I
Yeah.
take the interest up front. Yeah, and it's great.
Well, it makes sense because if it does, if you're going to give me a lender fee up front, well, why give it to me and I'm giving you it back and so on and so forth? Let me just minus it. Let me just take off 7% of what I'm lending you.
Yeah.
Right? And now my ROI even goes up. Yeah, fantastic.
And
Yeah,
some of them have been just, they haven't been right off the amount, but they send it back to me right away. The lender fee is paid up front anyways.
Yeah.
And they'll send me back money, and it's great. Been doing it for myself, my kids, my parents. My parents say, I wish we had this money 20 years ago. I said, I know, but you didn't.
But we know
you have
now.
it now. You
That's
know.
right.
yeah.
The best
Don't
time
have
to
to-
do this was
Exactly.
3 years ago. The next best time to do it is right now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
So explain to me now the exit process, because now you're done on this deal.
I'm done on this deal.
Yeah.
I have several going all at once, like my kids, my parents, myself. We got paid out on this one, and now we're just waiting for the next one. We had kind of two going at once that were closing all around the same time, so we were waiting for the money from one to come in while we did another one, and it's been phenomenal.
So Carmen, these payments, these monthly payments, 8% paid monthly, these, how do they get distributed? Your company puts them right into her bank account?
Yeah, so we have a pretty sophisticated accounting system. And what we do is we direct deposit the interest payments monthly,
Yeah.
if that's what we're going to do. Some people actually, instead of taking the interest up front, they like to take it monthly. It's more discipline for them.
Yeah.
They get to get their money monthly, but we direct deposit the funds into their account of their choice every month. So you don't have to get your check and run to the bank and cash it. So
That's great.
Yeah.
And then
awesome.
this deal was done, so then even the 28.5, or does that come by way of check, or
That comes through the law firm.
that comes through the lawyer?
So the lawyer has
Because
to-
lawyers are involved in all of this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and they have to release the charge on the real estate, and then the check gets signed and back. So if there's any fees, it's added.
Okay. Fantastic.
it's a
Well,
great
that's very cool. And if I was your daughter, I'd be very, very proud to have a mom
happy.
like you.
She wanted to spend part of it, and I said, no, you know
Later.
what? Later. And
Yes.
she's like, okay, no problem.
Yes.
Wow,
Well, thank you
what a
so
good
much
girl.
Thanks, Rav.
for being on the show. Wonderful stuff going on here. We've talked to 4 wonderful women learning how they're making money investing in mortgages in the world of real estate. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with Carmen's closing thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions pertaining to this show or there's a topic that you would like covered, please visit www.rogerstv.com. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We've had a phenomenal show talking about how to make money investing in mortgages. Carmen Campagnaro has been with me as a guest co-host. We've been talking to some wonderful women and just having a great time, Carmen, on the show. I'm surrounded with some lovely people, everyday people like you and I doing extraordinary things. We one's helping her mom out, another with her daughter, another, although she won't admit it, helping her husband. No, just kidding. But it's great. I love that story. They work together, and it's so important as investors that whoever you're investing with, that it's it's win-win. Everybody feels great about it. If I would have listened to my wife a lot more, I probably would have saved a lot more money, or invested better, if you will. Something about you women, you just have some sort of instinct.
Intuition.
Yes, intuition.
That's
intuition. Yes. So what's next for you? I mean, you could stop, but you love doing this.
I love it. We're
Yeah?
going to continue on the same path, assisting people to increase their portfolio, make some extra money. I love it.
Yeah.
I love love working with people and helping people. And we work with a lot of really great people. We have excellent, like the people we've had today.
The show,
Yeah. So our team, you know, we're growing. So it's not always just Carmen. It's you know, we've got Jordan, Chanelli, Blair, and Karen, and the team is growing. So when people have any questions with respect to investing, we've always got somebody there available.
They can give you a call. You can answer their questions. And what I love about your outfit as well, ProFunds Mortgages, is that you know, it's family, a lot of family,
it is,
as well as it's got the corporate feel as well, right? And so we do our due diligence through our lawyers and our accountants, and you know, all that kind of good stuff. And you know, Jordan's title now, VP of.
She's investor relations.
Investor relations, okay.
Yeah, so she's she manages.
That's your daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter, and she's doing such a great job. She's amazing, actually. She's very meticulous, perfectionist.
You know, I listen to the women that come on the show, and I know it's a great show because a lot of people don't know, you know, that you can make money lending. And a lot of people don't know that you can make a lot of money borrowing. So meaning Carmen lends Rav 100 grand, I take that and I go do something where I can make a lot more, and I don't mind paying you 10 to 15% on that, you know? I borrow $100,000, at the end I give you back the 100 plus say 15,000. Well, I don't mind doing that if I made 80 or if I made $90,000.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, you know, this vehicle is here for them.
Yeah.
You know, people should be taking advantage of it and not worrying about, oh my gosh, it's costing me too much money, and then it hinders them from moving ahead.
Yeah.
Just, you know, if you have an income property, you want to buy a property, you want to flip properties. Look at Andrew and Mike Cadero. They were just talking about them. Yeah. You know, they're a couple
flipping
of guys
properties in London, Ontario.
And they pay 15, 16, 17. They don't care, but they're making $100,000 to $200,000 a house. So it's great for them.
Great point.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I love having you on the show, and please come back again very soon.
So. Yes.
And it's just wonderful. Yes.
Okay, forget the handshake, right? Thanks.
Of course. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great show. Again, if you've missed any of it, go to Rogers TV. Make sure you see the repeats. On behalf of Rogers TV and myself, Rav Toor, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Ciao, everyone.